Hey, it's Paul Hill, and in this lesson, I'm going to show you how you can manually install the System Center Configuration Manager client. Now, I'm logged into my Sccm server at the moment, and we're going to also be using our ITF Workstation 01 server, or ITFWS01. It's also important to keep in mind that I have the domain controller powered on at the same time. So if you're working in your lab environment, you want to have your SCCM server, your workstation, and your domain controller all powered on at the same time. Now, if you just installed the client on ITFWS01 using client push, then this lecture is going to be strictly informational for you. Every once in a while, you'll run into a workstation where installing it with a client push simply does not work. So the next thing that you'll want to try is to install it manually. Now what we're going to do is go down here to devices, and we can see we have our 3 computers here and none of them have the client installed. So what we're going to do is install it manually and then come back to our SCCM server and see if it updates to saying yes, the client is installed. What I'm going to do now is switch over to my workstation 01 VM. So pause the video and come back once you're logged in. Okay, so now I am logged into my workstation. The first thing we need to do is open File Explorer and navigate to our SCCM server. So I'm going to do that by typing in / ITF SCCM01. Now, I'm using a local account right now, so I need to type in my domain credentials. So I'm going to do that by typing in administrator, itflee / administrator, that is. And I'm going to type in the password for that account, and I'll select OK. Now we're brought to a list of file shares. And what we're looking for is the SMS and then the name of your site. Now, it's not SMS site. In my case, my site code is ITF, so it's SMS ITF. So we're going to open this. And now what we're looking for is the client folder. We can see that it's listed here. We're going to right click and copy this client folder. And we're going to navigate to this PC and the C drive, and we're going to paste that folder here. So it'll just take a second to copy. All right, now what we're going to do is hit the back button and get back to that share. We're going to scroll down and we're going to select tools. So what we're going to do is copy the CM trace and we're going to paste it on our desktop. Okay, so now we have CM trace. So I'm going to power on this program and we're going to say yes, make this the default viewer. So now we're going to right click on the taskbar and choose Task Manager. And we're going to say more details. And we're just going to keep this open. Once we start the installation, we should see Sccm Setup.exe running as a background process. All right, so now we're going to hit the start button and we're going to open command prompt. And we can do that by searching for CMD and right clicking and choosing run as administrator. We're going to say yes. Okay, so now we have command prompt and now we're ready to install the SCCM client. We need to CD or change directory to the C drive and the client folder. All right. So now if we type in dir, we can see all the files that are listed into here. What we're looking for is ccm setup.exe. And we need to type in a couple of parameters here. So we're going to type in /mp : and this stands for management point site, which in our case is going to be ITF SCCM 01. Now we're going to say /logon. And we're going to say SMS site code equals ITF, which is our site code for our SCCM server, and FSP, which is the fallback status point site. We're going to type in equals ITF SCCM 01. All right, so now we're going to hit enter. And we can see that it's just a short command and doesn't really give us a progress or any indicator on what's going on. If we switch over to Task Manager, we can now see that ccm setup.exe is executing. So what we're going to do is in the trace log tool, we're going to hit File, Open, and we're going to go to this PC. We're going to go to the C drive, Windows, and we're going to select CCM Setup. We'll say Continue. Yes. We're going to select Logs, and we're going to open CCM Setup. Now we can see the logs for the whole installation listed here. Now, right now, it's installing the file silverlight.exe. Again, just like on the server, any errors or important messages will be listed in red, which there's so many messages, it's actually hard to find. Not all of these are going to be issues. So if we run into an error, if the installation does not successfully complete, then we will want to go through and read all of these messages listed in red, and we will want to research and figure out what the errors are and what they mean. Again, I'm having to scroll down because it's creating a lot of logs here. Okay, starting the services. All right, so it says CCM setup is exiting with return code 0. And that's a good sign. So what we're going to do now is minimize this console. And we can see here that CCM setup.exe is no longer running. We'll close out of this. And we're going to close out of command prompt. So now we're going to hit the start button and type in control panel. And we're going to change the view by to small icons. And here we can see the configuration manager was successfully installed. And no, I'm not really bored with my icon because this is a lab environment. All right, so now what we want to do is switch over to our Sccm server. Now that I'm logged into that, what I'm going to do is go under devices. I'm going to click out of this under user collections and click back on devices. And we can see here that the ITF Workstation 01 client is now installed. So if we wait about 15 or 20 minutes, the client activity is going to go active and we'll be all done installing the client on this server. So that is how you manually install the Configuration Manager client on a workstation. Great job getting through this lecture. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.